Well, hi again, folks. I'm Greg Flynn, and welcome into another edition of This Week in Pearl. On this week's episode, well, spring is sprouting all over town, and we're going to talk to Miss Stacy Smith, the director of Keep Pearl Beautiful, about an honor they just received as they will tell you how they work to keep our city so beautiful each and every day. We'll then go under the dome over at the state capitol with Senator Dean Kirby and Representative Gene Newman as we look back on a year of COVID. It's been a long year. Feels like it's taken about 5, but we'll take a look back with them. How teacher pay raises are faring over at the legislature and the upcoming state budget. Finally, we'll tell you how you can help the kids over at the Mississippi Children's Hospital this month through our Mayor's Youth Council. But we want to begin right now with Keep Pearl Beautiful, and we're going to bring in Miss Stacy Smith, who is the director of Keep Pearl Beautiful and the director of the Senior Services Program here in the city of Pearl. Actually want to talk about both those things, but first, why don't you tell us a little bit about this award that Keep Pearl Beautiful has been bestowed?
Well, due to different activities and events that we did through Keep Pearl Beautiful, we were awarded the Presidential Award through Keep America Beautiful. We're one of 700 affiliates across the country that participate in Keep America Beautiful, but here in Mississippi we were awarded that.
Actually, the full fancy title from Keep America Beautiful, the President's Circle Recognition Award for 2020, and very well deserved because you guys work very hard year-round, actually, on projects to keep this city clean. And so how does that work? How do you come up with these projects?
Actually, we just go back with previous affiliate directors for Keep Pearl Beautiful and just kind of tag along with those. Also, we work hand in hand with our students at Pearl High School to what they want to do with community service hours. So we do Team Up to Clean Up, where last year we went around to probably 20 senior adult homes where we cut their grass, we weed eat, we pressure washed, we did their cars, and then we also do litter blitz campaigns where we go around and pick up litter in different parts of the city. And one that we did this past year was the interstate at 20 and Pearson Interchange. We probably picked up about 25 or 30 bags of litter there. And then we are also based on a community appearance index, which is a litter index where a group goes out and actually determines the grade of our litter in different parts of our neighborhoods. And they have probably 60 streets that they go through throughout the city every year, different streets. And we're graded 1 through 4, 1 being good, 4 being bad, and are the worst of the litter aspect of it, I guess. And we always manage to be about a 1 or a 2 citywide with litter, so that we have to submit that in to Keep America Beautiful.
So when that goes to the litter aspect, but you know, you guys are all about always planting trees and the shrubs and the beautiful flowers. You partner with the Spring Lake Garden Club, who is a great partner.
We do. You know, Spring Lake Garden Club does a lot for our city, and we are grateful that they partner with us to do different things. Right now we have probably 200 daylily bulbs at the senior center if anybody wants to come by and pick up some daylily bulbs to plant. But we maintain, well, Spring Lake Garden Club and Keep Pearl Beautiful help maintain Bright Park. Spring Lake Garden Club has adopted City Hall, and then they do the library. And so we do work hand in hand with different things that they want to do, and therefore we can bring in city volunteers to help with their projects as well.
Well, I know you guys are chomping at the bit, ready to get your hands dirty as soon as you can get a hold of City Park. That's going to be some kind of beautiful project that I know you guys are waiting on.
We are, and we also were just awarded a wildflower trail project. One of 4 affiliates in the state of Mississippi. We were awarded that project, so we're looking forward to kicking that off and getting some designs to put together to see what we can do in a really nice green space that we have here in our city.
So if people out there want to help join a project, or they perhaps have an idea for a project for you around town, what's the best way for them to submit that?
They can call me at the Senior Center, 601-863-3229, or of course they can email me at smith@cityofpearl.com.
Excellent. Now shifting gears just a little bit as you talk about the Senior Center, tough year of COVID for you. You were shut down for a good portion of the year, but now you're getting your senior citizens back together, and they just look like they're having a ball over there.
We have the best senior adults here in the city of Pearl, and we did have to close our doors for about 3 or 4 months. But when we opened those doors back with very limited numbers, we had to start doing waiting lists. They had to sign in to participate, and we've had to limit our luncheons and our bingos and our game days. We just had Price is Right on Monday with limited numbers of 30, and they are ready. They are ready to come back. So in April, we're going to bump those numbers up from 30 to 45 just to make sure everybody is comfortable in coming back. And then we'll just go from there, and hopefully by summertime we can be wide open at the senior center. We're still doing crafts and bingo and line dancing. We do exercise 4 days a week, and they're ready. They love being at the center, so the more that we can do for them, the more that they'll come into the building.
And I guess one of the best ways that you share information with people about the programs that are available to seniors is through your Facebook page?
We do. We have Pearl Senior Adult Programs. It's a Facebook page. We have a monthly newsletter. If you live in Pearl, we will mail that out to you. And then if you don't live within the city of Pearl, we can email it to you, the monthly newsletter. And it's jammed packed with different things. We do lunch and learns. And in April, we're doing a series with the Mississippi Alzheimer's Association chapter. We're going to do a 3-week series on that. And that's going to be a brown bag event, but there again, we're still doing monthly luncheons and bingos, and those numbers are going to increase as they feel more comfortable getting out.
You're always keeping busy over there, whether it's with Keep Pearl Beautiful, their senior services, and you and your staff over at Senior Services do an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, we will go under the dome over at the State Capitol with Gene Newman and Dean Kirby. So stay with us. This Week in Pearl continues right after this.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Welcome back into This Week in Pearl. We're now going to go under the dome and see what's happening at the state capitol and bring in our distinguished gentlemen from Rankin County. They are Senator Dean Kirby and Representative Gene Newman. And believe it or not, we're coming to the end of your session. I can't believe it. It seems like it just started.
Yeah, maybe to you. There's been a lot of long
for
nights.
a while.
Yeah, we feel like we've been there about a year and a half. And one reason, of course, last year was a never-ending session because of COVID. We'd come in, leave, come in, leave, come in, leave, and then finally we left, and then we came in.
After a couple of weeks, we came right back.
Well, COVID, you guys have been able to function through COVID this year very admirably, right?
Yes. So we had the problems in the Senate. I'm one of the problems. I had COVID. It was awful. I wouldn't wish it on a snake. It's the worst thing. Someone told me at the Capitol it was like having the flu times 10, and after I had it, I said, "You lied to me. It's not times 10. It's times 9." It's awful, and thank goodness that I survived because so many didn't. It's been awful.
Well, we've drawn some criticism, I think, nationally, but the people that know our state the best understand it. When Governor Reeves reopened the state, basically took away all the mask mandates and left it up to Mississippians and businesses to decide and not let the big brother government decide. And, so far we've seen the dwindling numbers. Hospitalizations are at a more manageable point than even before our first spike in cases.
Yes.
So I think, and vaccinations are going well, right?
Yes,
Yes.
they're going very well. So well, let me tell you, last Friday afternoon, state employees do work on Friday afternoon a lot of times, and legislators.
At least till noon.
But last Friday afternoon, I was on a Zoom call with about 14 other pro tems from other states. And luckily, I was last. I guess they thought I was from Mississippi, so I should be last. Well, I think I was the last to connect, if you want to know the truth about it. But anyway, I was listing all these northern states, Michigan and Maryland and Pennsylvania and all these states, and we were talking about schools and how COVID's affected schools, talking about masks, talking about social distancing and all these things. And I was just absolutely floored that we're so far ahead of these other states. We never get credit for being number one in anything, but I'm not sure we're not number one in hopefully getting back to normal in our state. I was totally shocked when one said, we hope that this next year, starting in August, that we can have our kids in school. And I was like, what? They have not been in school in a year. And they were talking about only like 47% of their students are actually Zooming in and doing what they're supposed to do, and how these kids have been cheated out of an education. And I'm thinking, gosh, I think almost all of our schools are back in school. Now, there are times that they've had to leave for a week or a few days and come back, but I think statewide, most all of our schools are back in school. I know that we've had schools that have had Zoom with their students every day. Every day. They've been, when they were not in school, they were in school, and counted absent if they weren't on Zoom. So Rankin County and Pearl is just, and Mississippi is just so far ahead of some of these states. Now, I realize that we're a small state, and the smaller you are, the easier you are to get things together to have control of such a thing as COVID. But it was like these guys don't have a clue what they're doing. I talked to a guy from Texas, as a matter of fact, and the guy from Texas told me his county in Texas is a very small county and only had like 80,000 people, just out of Austin. Only had about 80,000 people in the whole county. He just got his first shot last week, and he's above 65. He said, finally, the 75-year-olds or whatever can get a shot. That was his first one. He said their county commissioner was in charge of it. And he said, I'm not going to get shot, don't care if anybody else does. That was his comment. So he said, if you guys want to get a shot, then you need to get a group of people together and form some type of commission or something and start doing this. So they did, and started last week. Started last week. Now, we're already at the 18s. We've been given 18-year-olds with underlying conditions. We're at 50-year-olds and above, and they're starting with the 75s. Give me a break. We're way ahead. I have to commend the governor and all the leadership, especially Dr. Dobbs and all, for doing such a wonderful job in this state. I don't think people realize here what a good job they have done.
Well, Gene, I think that we get a bad rap, I think, a little bit for being, quote unquote, insensitive to the national pundits that look at us, but they don't understand the dynamic here. Again, we are smaller, and you know, here in Pearl, we've managed the entire time to keep all of our businesses open with a somewhat of a reduced capacity, certainly in line with whatever the governor has come down with. But it's working in Mississippi, and I think it's unfair that people will bring us down to try and say, oh, well, they don't care about people, when that couldn't be further from the truth.
I agree, and our people are just smarter than the rest of them. I mean, you go to any store, and most of the people you see walk into a convenience store or wherever, if there's a sign up there that says mask required, they wear a mask. Now, you know, you've always got a few hard heads out there that won't, but for the most part, most people are doing what they need to do to take care of themselves. They've learned through this and I don't know of anybody in Mississippi that hadn't lost somebody, at least a friend, even if it wasn't a loved one, but they've lost somebody that they know. So they're taking care of themselves. They figured out, you know, I'm the one that's got to take care of myself. Nobody's going to do it for me. I'm the one that's got to wash my hands. I'm the one that's got to put the mask on. I'm the one that's got to take care of myself, and they're doing that. So, and that's personal responsibility that we do. And why these other states are not capable of doing that, I don't understand. Like I said, I think it's just because we're smarter than they are. But I want to also, the kudos really belongs to the medical people and the Mississippi National and Air National Guard. Air National Guard has run this system over here at Trustmark Park and up at Smith Wheels. The National Guard, these medical units have run these facilities all over the state. And they, like I said before, they obviously copied Chick-fil-A because they know how to do it. They can get you in, out, through, and done in a very short period of time. They're doing thousands of shots here at Trustmark a day, and Smith Wheels and other places, and you can't do that without being really good at your job.
Well, we're getting close to a point, and I think it's important for people to understand that this week is the anniversary of shutting everything down. It was 1 year ago this week that we shut everything down because of COVID. Here we are right now, and in Mississippi, we're getting to the point where anybody that wants a vaccine is going to be able to have a vaccine before the end of the spring. So please, if you are looking to get a vaccine, go online to the health department website and get yourself an appointment, because they are available more and more every single day. And there are going to be anti-vaxxers out there, but to that point, so far the vaccines have not shown very big side effects, right?
They have not.
That's true. That's true. And it's funny to me that when I hear men are more afraid of vaccines than women. That's funny. There's he-men, I know some big guys. I'm afraid of shots. You got to be kidding. When I had my first shot, and I'm sure you were the same way. I was talking to a gentleman, and the nurse was over there, and this one over here from my friend was about to give a shot. So I thought, well, let me see what this nurse is doing, and she's putting a Band-Aid on my arm. I'd already had the shot. I didn't even know it. You can't feel it. It's about as. It hurts as much as putting a Band-Aid on.
Have you guys had both shots yet?
I haven't, because I went to get my second shot, and they said that I had too many antibodies, that I'd had one shot and I had COVID, and I needed to wait another month.
He also had the infusion, and that was a real reason he couldn't get the shot.
The Trump cocktail is wonderful.
Yeah. You've had both shots?
I've had both shots, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I had the antibodies when I took the first shot. I reacted to it. It hurt. I ached all over, and little bitty 99 fever for about 6 hours. I had a headache, and 36 hours it was all gone. When I had the second one, had the antibodies, and I'd had the first shot, so I reacted a little bit more to it, a little bit more of a headache, a little bit more of an ache, but you know what? 36 hours it was gone, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. If you choose not to get the vaccine and you wind up getting the virus, don't cry to me. I will not feel sorry for you. If you have access to be able to stop this and you don't, then that's on you. I'll tell you something else is on you. If those people who choose not to get the vaccine, and then we wind up morphing this thing into something else because there's too many people that didn't get vaccinated, and it winds up, viruses, they do everything they can to try to continue living, and the more you kill them, the more the worse they can get.
Variants.
The variants, yeah. So if you don't take, if enough people don't take the vaccine, and we get some kind of strange, worse virus out there because they didn't do that, that's on you too.
Well,
it's who you give it to. Not just
and
whether
it's
or
not
not you get it, it's who you get it
It's the
to.
susceptibility of the other folks. But
That's right.
we're in a good place right now. We're moving towards a good place. And
Well,
hopefully-
we're still wearing our mask at the Capitol.
Oh, yeah?
I'm telling you, we are.
And I
We're
still
being
see it,
very
even
careful.
though the governor just lifted the mandate. I was out this weekend, and folks in stores and things, they're still wearing it.
They
Yeah,
are.
but-
I mean,
At the
they
post
don't
office,
need Big
grocery.
Brother looking over their shoulder to do the right thing, and I think
That's
that
correct.
people here are. All right, well, a couple of things I want to touch on before you guys get out of here. The Fairness Act was something that was passed by both the Senate and the House and is now sitting on the governor's desk. And in essence, it says that biological males are not going to be allowed in Mississippi to compete in women's sports. It seems crazy to me that we had to pass something like this, but because of a federal mandate that an executive order that President Biden signed, it kind of expedited the need for it here, didn't it, Senator?
Yes, yes, and Senator Hill introduced that bill. It went through committee very quickly. It went through on the floor. No one voted against it, and we sent it to the House, and I think they're about the same thing there. It's properly named in the Fairness Act. Men should not be able to, or women shouldn't have men competing against them. These girls in high school, junior high, high school, and college, even professionals work very, very hard to get where they are. And then to have some guy come in, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. And so.
At least not in this state, it won't happen, right, Gene?
That's correct. We've solved that problem. The problems that they're having in California or Oregon and Washington, where males are going in and setting state records that can never be broke by women, and competing and taking scholarships from women. It's not the right thing to do. We want our females to compete against other females, and that's all we're trying to do.
Well, you guys are also coming to the end of the session here. I know the teacher pay raise is still alive. A lot of our Pearl Public School District folks are very interested in that. And does it look like it's going to happen this time?
Oh, without a doubt, I think it's going to happen. Actually, that was the very first bill we passed this year. The first week of session, we passed that. And they probably did the same thing. And so they've had a couple bills, we had a bill. We ended up last week actually taking a House bill. I think maybe we made a small amendment to it and sent it back to them for approval.
So the ball's in your court on that?
That ball's in our court, and we're working through the process now. So when we get that back, I'm quite sure we'll pass the teacher pay raise. We passed 2 bills with it in it, and so they sent one of them back. So I'm quite sure we'll work something out.
Well, the clock is ticking. About 3.5 weeks left.
Amen.
On the
Amen.
session, and
Thankfully.
But you guys still got a big budget to pass.
That's correct. And the numbers right now are coming in to where we thought it was going to be more money than what it is, but it's not going to be less money than what we need. So we're hitting about where it should be. That's what the latest report I heard was last week, that the numbers are coming in about where they should be. So we should be able to get the budget done and close it up and get out of there.
And we have to be so careful with it, as you know, because last year, maybe in March or maybe April, we lost $250 million in 1 month.
Yeah.
So you have to be really, really careful as what you do and make sure that we have the resources for what happens again, or what happens for 2 months in a row. You don't know what's going to happen. You've got to have a rainy day fund, and we have the rainy day fund to back us right now. We plan on keeping it, hopefully.
Well, and there's people that want to spend up there at the legislature
Yes.
sometimes. We've seen several big bumps this year because of the federal stimulus, which has pumped a lot of money into our state economy, and we're about to get another big one, the biggest one that we've seen to this point, which is going to really spike it again. But Gene, as you pointed out, that's one-time money.
That's right. That is
Don't
correct.
rely on it.
One-time money. You can't spend one-time money on recurring expenses. And I know people don't like to hear that. Teachers really don't like to hear that, but that's just the truth. You cannot spend money for next year that you don't know that you're going to have. So when you have that one-time money, you use the one-time money for things like
One-time
projects. Exactly, projects that need to be spent on, and it's going to be a one-time deal, and then you don't spend the rest of it.
Yeah, non-recurring expenses. Matter of fact, keep some of it. Not even spend it all. So.
It's just going to be very tempting when some people see that
Oh,
ledger
yes.
come in from the Department of Revenue, and they're going to be like, oh, look at all the money we have. It's going to be kind of slim maybe once we get
That's
into
right.
the next fall. So
Yeah, and the problem is, when a lot of our third of our budget comes from income tax, and if all these folks are not working, then that money's not going to come in for the rest of this year and for the start of next year, and we don't know. What we do know is that the oil economy is being shattered right now, and all of those folks are going to be out of work, and those are high-paying jobs. So you got a lot of folks that right now that are being laid off in the oil business, and it's not just those guys working offshore. It's those guys working in Laurel that are welding up rigs and things that affect the oil business. So we have the potential to lose a whole lot of employed people, and that's going to hurt our economy. So, we have to look at it down the road, not just what's right here in front of us.
Lord, don't get us started on gas prices. I went and got gas, all of a sudden $2.50 here as we end in the spring. $2.50 a gallon. Are you kidding me? For another time. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us be here.
I know we're going to be getting down to the nitty-gritty in the next couple of weeks as you guys come in, as we close in on the end of the session, but we know that you guys will keep up the good fight.
Thank you.
Thank you very
for
much.
letting us be here.
And we will be back with more This Week in Pearl right after this.
Come find your taste buds at the Lost Cajun. Chef Charles is cooking everything to order. Cajun classics like gumbo, jambalaya, and red beans and rice. Pick your po' boy, shrimp, oyster, roast beef, or maybe gator. Proudly serving USDA farm-raised catfish. When you're done, loosen the belt up a bit for some homemade beignets. Dine in, take out, order online, and get it delivered. Reserve our party room for your group. Find your way to the Lost Cajun in Pearl and Byram.
Well, now we want to tell you a little bit how you can help the kids over at Blair E. Batson Children's Hospital, the only children's hospital here in Mississippi, and it's right here in Jackson. Our Mayor's Youth Council, for the second straight year, is doing a snack drive to benefit the kids there. One of the biggest needs, we were told, is that they need snacks for all the kids that are there. Things that kids like. Things like gummy bears and the little fruit snacks and individually wrapped crackers, peanut butter crackers, those type things. You can buy those and then bring them by City Hall. We have a donation bin over there, and we just started it this week, and they'll be collecting all the way through April the 2nd. Now, last year, we were able to donate an entire trailer full, and we're hoping to either do 2 trailers this year or get a much bigger truck, because we really showed out last year to impress those folks over at Blair E. Batson, and the kids, man, they've been eating well ever since. So please take time, stop by over to Pearl City Hall with some individually wrapped snacks that kids would like. We would appreciate that greatly. Well, I want to thank all my guests, Miss Stacy Smith, Gene Newman, Dean Kirby, for coming in this week. Until next week, I'm Greg Flynn. Have a great week, everyone.